There's a lot of smart guys, and there's a lot of hard workers. It takes some luck. I did some good things. Before. I was a very successful rainbow vacuum cleaner distributor. I was a good marketer for furniture. Blah blah blah, whatever. It takes some luck. It was a lightning strike. I knew kids like sugar. But, for the brand to hit and take off the way it was, I do feel myself, I don't want to sit here and take all the credit for everything that's happened. Right place, right time. You say, well, you started in the worst time in the world. Well, was it the worst? I got access to people. I had financing all lined up because my partner had finance. So very fortuitous in some ways. So I don't want to take all the credit for it because I've got two brothers. Smarter, well, one's smarter. The other one's harder worker. And they didn't hit it as big as I've hit it. And I'm like, and they work as hard as I do. Do they have the it factor? I don't want to say that. My sister says, I don't want to say blessed anymore because when you're blessed and someone else is not, is that God doing that? Or is it, she said, I'm just saying lucky. Sometimes you're lucky. And so I take that. But with that comes a lot of responsibility, So I don't look at it like I deserve it. I look at it like, man, I was at the right place, the right time, with the right attitude, with the right set of knowledge and the right motivations, and I hit it. And yes, all the things that I was doing up until that point, perfect. I'm glad I was there. But at the end of the day, brother, there's a lot of good ideas, a lot of smart people. I sit on these boards and I talk to these other people, and I'm like, they're smarter than I am. I always say I'm not the smartest guy in the room, but I know who the smartest guy is usually. And then I try to steal all their knowledge or whatever. But
here's what I think though. Man, there's luck when we get in our car,
right?
And if you make it home,
right?
There's some people who don't.
Yeah, no one crossed the center line.
Right. There's luck there.
Yep.
Right. What I know about business, and I'm not the smartest guy in the room either. Give me long enough and I'll figure it out.
Right.
But I don't start out the smartest guy.
Yeah.
Luck's a part, but it's not the biggest part. It's not, man. So I would love – you're a guy I'm never going to argue with.
Right.
But I'd have a good argument over that. And so it's good that you have the gratitude.
Right.
It's good that you have the perspective of – I don't know whether we like the word humility or not because I'll go deep on that term of that word.
I think it's dangerous to not think that way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think it is – I never walk into a room and think I'm better than anyone. I never walk into a room and think I'm smarter than anyone.
Right.
I look at myself on the same exact even keel that everyone in that room is.
Correct.
I have a different job.
Right.
And I have you done different things in your life that most people haven't done. See, that's the piece that everyone has to acknowledge.
True.
We can't want to teach some of these lessons and want to bring other people up and say, well, man, you're just leaving it to luck.
Right.
We know that's not true.
No. I just say I think you can achieve a level of success with hard work and intelligence.
Yes.
I've achieved a pretty high level of success.
Yep.
But I can't say it's all. But I'm the only guy there on Sunday nights. I go into the office on Sunday nights and I work 3 or 4 hours every Sunday night.
You know what the luck was? I think it starts with luck. Here's my luck, and I think your luck was that you heard that lady in that video store in Warsaw, Kentucky,
right,
say the thing about the shaved ice.
Yeah.
Everything after that, you took action on.
Yeah.
That was the lucky moment.
Yeah, don't tell her.
Well, make sure you give her a couple dollars, man. Okay. I had a moment. I'm an adjunct professor at Thomas More when I'm taking night classes, trying to get my degree wrapped up. I'm in this corporate job. I'm miserable, burnt out, not traveling anymore. The company's just sold. The culture's not the same. We've heard this story. And this professor sees something in me. Whatever it is.
Right.
Personality, charisma, whatever.
Right.
And he says, hey, what are you going to do? You heard me talking about, man, I got to find something else to do.
Right.
He said, what are you going to do? I said, I have no clue. I'm 20, I'm 25.
Yeah.
And he said, hey, you should be in commission sales, man.
Yeah, right.
Right. And I said, well, I've heard that a lot, I said, I've never even thought about it. I hear it. What do you think I should do? He's like, I don't know. Go get a real estate license. I was lucky that
someone put in.
Right.
Someone put
and then at that moment,
right,
everything after that, I took action on.
Right.
Are the people you come in? But if other things would have, because there was a lot of challenges 2008 in the housing business.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
It was really tough.
Yeah.
And so weeks away from bankruptcy.
Right.
My entire financial disaster, like right over on the other side of the hill.
Right.
And there's a lot of people who threw in the towel.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
If they would have kept going like I did,
right,
luck would have been on their side.
Yeah.
So I just think that a guy like you is always going to feel that way, right? Because you're just going to. You're wired up that way, and it's very good. I think it's going to keep you connected. It's going to keep you grounded.
Right.
It's going to make other people feel like you really appreciate him, and yeah, I get it, but
Yeah.
it's not as big of a part as you're trying to make it.
No.
Say,
I mean, I will agree with the statement. I mean, I agree with the direction you're going, but I do think it's I had some good ideas before. It's funny because real estate. I was selling rainbow vacuum cleaners. And I was making whatever, a couple $100, and we sell a couple $100 a month. I'm making $40,000-$50,000 a month. Blah blah blah. It's great money. I was 25, 26 years old, making $500,000 a year, and I said, I'm such a good salesman. I want a bigger commission.
Yep. Sell bigger things.
Sell bigger things. And I looked at real estate, and I'm like, a lot of competition. What I was always going towards, the ice cream truck guy, I'm like, no competition.
But here's what right. So it's a good thing you didn't come here because 2008 treated me different than you. But you find a way to get through it. But here's what I'll say. When I looked at commercial real estate and residential, I was evaluating both.
Yeah.
I started looking at the people that were realtors in residential real estate.
Yeah.
And I went, that's not much competition.
Yeah. Okay.
And so it was intentional once I dug in.
Right.
But until I got close enough and obtained my license and said, what am I going to do? And so you would have crushed this business. You would have absolutely dominated it.
Yeah.
You would.
Well, thank you for that. No, yes. I look at that and you say there's a lot of people in the country. What I hated was barriers to entry. The barriers to entry. Here's the greatest story if I can finish with this.
Yeah, no, I want this. And then finish with this, and then the final thing I want you to talk about the it factor.
Okay. We buy the building in northern Kentucky. We buy the Florence building. I'm going to put a family entertainment center in the front. Big inflatables, rock climbing walls, all this stuff, because it's off season. That's when people go to the family entertainment center. So I'm going to build this whole thing out. I get this architect to come in here. We're laying this whole thing out. There's a jump zone right down the street from me, and they're going out of business or whatever. I'm like, this is great. I'll put this right in front of them. No problem. We're down the road. I find out this guy sells his jump zone to a young couple. A young couple finance their life, buy a jump zone, and you have to drive by my warehouse to get to the jump zone. And I said, I'm going to hold off a year. And I don't know why. That's not that animal. That's not that. And I was like, I'm going to hold off. I don't want to do that. They sign the lease, 5-year lease, and they just get crushed immediately because I want to do it big. And I said, I'm going to hold off. I got other things to work out, blah, blah, blah. Long story. 10 years later, I didn't do the family entertainment because my Kona franchisees couldn't follow me. Big real estate play, lots of space you needed, zoning, all the kinds of stuff. I thought, no, I'm going to major on the majors, focus on what I'm good at. So I'm glad I didn't do it. But there was that moment where I did it strictly because I didn't want to just drill this couple. And so 10 years later, I don't actually know if it's the exact same couple, but they do a shaved ice truck. It's literally, I could throw a baseball and hit a shaved ice truck behind me. And I'm like, what the hell, man? Are you kidding? And it drives by my window of my office every day. And I'm like, what? And I look back at that moment, I'm like, I should have crushed them. I should have absolutely crushed them because I wouldn't have to be dealing with that now. But not who I was. Not who I am for the most part. But they're out of business. I think I saw their truck for sale or something like that. They followed my idea. They did everything they did. They worked hard. They are smart. They built a shaved ice truck. They're out of business. So they weren't lucky, or they didn't have the it factor. That's what you want to get to. So
what is the whole it? Because here's what I want to get to. Here's what I bet. And I'm glad I can say this because I don't know them. So whoever it is, if you hear this, I don't know who you are. They weren't at the office on Sunday night, man.
They weren't.
Guarantee it.
Right.
And if they went in once, it was once a month.
Right.
It wasn't all 4.
Right. That's exactly right.
Right?
I believe it. I know that what I'm doing is making me successful. It's the pellet, it's the feeder pellet in the maze or whatever. I know when I set my week up on Sunday nights and I can come in Monday morning and start crushing it, and I've got everything lined up, meetings done, notes done for the meetings, and just can be unbelievably efficient. That's success, and I know those are my feeder pellet, the food pellet or whatever is hitting me.
So the it thing, what is it? Say, hey Tony, I give you the mic. You're walking up and teaching a class. Nobody from Kona's there. and there's 1,000 people in the audience, and they're like, man, I'm ready to do it.
Right.
But I need to know what it's going to take. I need to know if I've got it or not. So before I jump out and quit that 6-figure job to go do not Kona, not Pivot Realty, I'm going to go do it.
Right.
Tell them what they have to have and what the it factor is.
Do you find it cliche to say perseverance? Do you find it that you can't quit? Do you find it that you always have to go the extra mile? Do you find it that failure is not an option? I want to say all these things, but I'm like, frick, cliche. But at the end of the day, I could have quit 10 times. It was hard. But I was like, I'm not quitting. I'm not quitting. I've staked it all on this thing, and I'm going to go deep. I'm going to go hard in the paint. That's what I always say. I'm going to go hard in the paint, brother. I'm not going to quit. So whether it's cliched or not, you just can't quit. And I don't know. I think everybody and their brother is probably going to say that line. I'd like to have something really cool and unique to say there, but
I think it's good to have these same cliches reinforced because it seems to make it way more simple.
I agree.
If they want to look for it, there's a lot of people telling you.
Right.
And here's the number one CEO, Business Courier said so.
Right.
And you whooped that Brittany Ruby ass, and she wasn't happy about it.
My God, I hope she's listening.
She's never coming on this damn thing. Here we go. So much for Jeff coming on and telling us how great steaks are. Jesus, good job, Tony. Thanks, buddy. No, man, I think
is that cliche? What's everybody else saying?
It's the same shit, man.
Okay.
It's the private conversations, and we're gonna start dragging them out in this podcast. Like we're gonna make this thing. I sent you an email about what the purpose is and what we're trying to do.
Right.
I don't give two shits about monetizing this thing. I don't care.
Right.
I just know that there's a lot of people out here, not as many as I thought when I started the real estate company, but there's a lot of people that really do want a shot at life. They just want a little bit better life. I hear it from them.
Right.
They don't know if they have it, and I don't know if they do either.
Right.
But it sure would be nice if we can give them some self-evaluation tools.
All right.
Right?
This is a good, okay. Yeah, this has been great for me because I read yours. I just wanted to make sure you weren't going to try to catch me.
No.
Hey, talk about Trump.
I think that's BS.
Yeah, talk about Trump, talk about religion, talk about what I don't want to get into that.
No, I think this is truly about, when I named it The Necessary Entrepreneur, that's me.
Yeah.
It was necessary I did this because I wanted a certain outcome in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's a lot of people that want a different life. And they don't have I didn't have them around me when I was growing up. I had a great mom, but a piece of shit dad.
Mm.
And my great mom, she had great work ethic.
Right.
She was a nurse.
Yeah.
So I saw from afar and up close. She didn't tell me work ethic. I saw it.
Mm-hmm.
I saw the double shifts and the 16 hours.
Right.
I saw them, right?
Right.
But nobody was teaching me financial. They didn't teach me
competency.
No. So high school didn't do it. College didn't. Nobody did.
Right.
And so that stuff's not the most important because I've arrived here.
Right.
What's most important is that I really want to help people first be self-aware if they've got what it takes to go down this path to be the person who doesn't quit. Because, man, that's a characteristic.
Right.
I want to help them before they ruin their freaking life because there's people that start businesses, the jump zone people.
Yeah.
They ruin their lives, man. Right. If they wouldn't have done that, they would have been better off, and I guarantee it.
Correct. 100% correct.
That's what I'm trying to help people do.
Right.
So guess what they may be better doing? They may be better coming to Kona,
right?
A company that you have,
right?
Work your ass off, use the traits you do have, and become that VP.
Right. Or get a franchise, develop it out, buy their neighbors out, build a nice thing, put in good management, and spend the rest of their time on the beach.
If you had to do it all over again, Bill, be really honest. If the Tony Lamb now would have known all the stuff you were going to have to go through.
Oh yeah, I did 100%.
You would
1,000%. Yeah, I'm 1,000%. It was never that bad. Now I look back and you're like 2008. All of a sudden the world, everyone's Lehman Brothers goes down. You're like, holy cow, what's going on? Are we going to be around? Pandemic. We're a 95% event-based business. March 18th, every event in the world gets canceled. Everyone's financed their Kona trucks. I got $40 million worth of financed Kona trucks out there. And I'm wondering, are the collectors or the banks going to collect? Are they going to force these people into bankruptcy? Some tough moments, man. I think my investors, I bet you they wrote us off. think I've gotten wind of that. It's like, hey, Kona won't survive this. These are small mom and pop businesses, financed to the eyeballs, not to the eyeballs, but financed up, and there's no more business. And it started when our season starts. It's not like if COVID would have started in November, I'm thinking, I got 6 months to get through this. It started in March. April's our, climbing month, and May's our biggest month of the year.
Why'd you survive?
We pivoted. I bought some software from a guy in Tennessee or Texas and curbside Kona. We skinned it, and it's just a delivery service. So we go online and tell people, hey, we'll be in your area from 1 to 5 tomorrow if you want a Kona truck. I mean, it just blew up. And we would get all the requests, and then we'd route it through a routing software and come back and say, we'll be in front of your house at 3:15.
Can you take us through how that, and we want to wrap it up, but this is good.
All right.
What was the evolution of that process to that problem solving of here we are at COVID?
Right.
How long did it take to get to that, to buy that software, to find out that was the solution?
We launched that software April 4th. So that's fast.
Who came up with the idea?
I think a franchisee in Texas started working on a similar idea, but didn't have it. And then we saw this food truck pub or whatever it was, and we came back and we grabbed that software and we reskinned it. And said, this guy made a ton of money from us. And I was like, we kept trying to improve it, and he just wasn't improving it. And we're like, come on. And he bought a boat. He crushed it from us because his admin fee or whatever. But we took all the money that we were making from it and just kept putting it back into advertising, and so it exploded for us. But it was some ideas out there, and then it comes into corporate, and then I get full-time guys that were staying up, Adam Summers and Derek Taylor and Jake, and they're staying up around the clock putting this thing together, making sure this thing works, and just freaking crushing it, and it worked, and franchisees are like, you saved us.
See, that's where I'm going. At what moment did you have to say a yes or a no, or did you just let it happen? Did you have to say, yes, we're going to do it, or no? Did that fall on you? Or
yeah, absolutely, because you got to start writing checks.
Was that luck?
I see where you're going.
There's your gotcha.
I see where you're going.
There's your gotcha. And so where I was going with this and what you said before,
right?
Because of you and the decision you made,
right?
Yes, there's great people, and without them, they wouldn't have brought it to you,
right? But
you had to be willing to make the decision, and you saved your franchisees.
Yeah. I got on a plane, flew to Baltimore, and met with the financial institution that had, $22 million worth of Kona paper, and I said, we need some help. And they said, no, we're going to collect. And I said, I want to buy the portfolio. And so you take the portfolio to another lender and say, I'll back it. I'll back it for 90 days because I believe in these franchisees. 90 days, come hell or high water, we're going to make it. And so you put your ass on the line for 90 days on $22 million and on financing, and you're thinking, please God, come back. And so that was, and we did some other things too. That was it was rough there for a while, but it's all or nothing. It's all or nothing, and it worked.
All right, so I'm gonna start. We've started a new thing today, and we're gonna build a wall. We're gonna have to come back and get a picture of him or something, have him sign it. He is proclaimed from the Necessary Entrepreneur of having the CEO it factor. Because kudos to you, man, for having the balls to make that call.
Yeah, that was a tough call.
No shit. Yeah. I'm sitting here like, the last 15 years.
Yeah.
Everything you had.
Everything.
Everything was on the line.
Everything was on the line. My name's on everything. They would have come after everything. So.
Kudos to your wife.
Yeah.
For also supporting you through that.
Oh yeah. And it was never even a hesitation. It's all or nothing.
Man, they're so lucky to have you. Yeah. These franchisees are so lucky to have you. So I just know from talking to you today what's going to happen with a coffee truck. Regardless, you're going to do the same thing with coffee. I'm sitting here thinking, what's next? How the heck can we get in front of this, guys? Let's go buy some software. Let's create the donut truck. Like, shit, let's do something because this guy's got this crap figured out. Steal like an artist. It's a book.
That's right. There's a cookie truck coming. There's some things coming, baby. We're just going to keep building.
Well, thanks, man. This is awesome.
This was so much better than all your other podcasts.
But you know what I would say? Here's what I tell these guys. Man, we're so early in this. But I say, guys, we're going all in.
Yeah.
If we're going to ask people to come in and give their time,
we're
going all in, and we're going to make these great, and the content that comes out, they're going to be awesome. So I know that's an accurate statement because we talk about it every day like, guys, we're going to be better tomorrow.
Yeah.
The next podcast, we're going to be better.
No, I mean, I listen. I'm obviously being facetious because it's me, but this is, I mean, the level of professionalism.
Thank you.
This is impressive. This is not, you get these calls, you get these requests sometimes, but Chris is saying no, Mark's the real deal.
I appreciate
then
that.
You show up and it's like, oh shit, that's the building.
Yeah.
You should see this building, everybody. It's ridiculous.
Just wait, baby.
You're still going to add too.
Just wait.
Going up.
We're coming, baby. We're going all in. But I mean, this is gonna be a challenging time in the real estate business.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. So this is the second one. I don't wish this, but interest rates are 3 times for a 30-year mortgage.
Yeah.
3 times what the interest rate was just 9 months ago.
Right.
So I love that I named the company Pivot.
Yeah.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, that's right.
So every day we get up, we're ready.
Yep.
We're ready for what's coming. So it's going to be challenging, but I think we're ready and we're prepared. We still have the growth mindset. We're not going anywhere, man.
Yeah.
Go all in.
All
What are you going
in.
to tell me? Give me advice. Give me advice give something that Mark Perkins needs to know that I can learn from the Tony.
Let me give you a Tom Lamb. There's so many good Tom Lamb ones. Because he's, country come to town. At first you don't succeed, keep on sucking till you do succeed. Have you ever heard that one?
No.
That's a good one. The more people I meet, the more I like me. And that one's stuck. That one's registered with me a lot lately because I'm sitting on some boards talking to some other people, looking at other businesses and stuff like that, trying to help businesses. And I come back from those meetings, I'm like, my God, I love Kona Ice. We built a hell of a business here. We've got a great culture. We've got a great team. So the more companies I see, the more I like Kona. The more people I meet, the more I like me. It's a great line. Think about that.